Thursday, August the 23rd. Lake level is about 916 3/4. It's come up a couple inches since last week, last report. Water temperature is actually cooling down some. We've had several cool nights, a lot of rainy nights, and the fishing's picking up. There's a lot better shallow bite than there has been, which I talked about a few weeks ago. When we get a cool down in the end of August, there's a lot of things that start to happen shallow. The smallmouth start to move up. Spinnerbait bite comes on a little bit, squirrelbill, and there's been a pretty decent topwater bite. There's been some fish surfacing throughout the lake. Some of them have been shallow, some of them have been out in front of deep docks or over deep timber like on bluff ends. But the most consistent bite as far as numbers is probably still the drop shot, anywhere from 30 to 35 feet. Main lake gravel seems to be about the best. Any kind of point that has a channel swinging up against it, and the baits that are working best are, for me anyways, like a 4-inch chompers, brown purple laminated, throwing a lot of Strike King, KVD, Dream Shots, and this is almost like a PBJ. I'm using it. You can also use like a Zoom finesse worm. Green pumpkin or watermelon candy, but I'm having a little bit better luck with the darker colors. And in them same areas, you can throw a football jig. I've been trying to key a little bit more with the not a football jig, but I'm throwing the ultimate finesse jig on 5-fish lures. But you can throw a football jig in the same place, but the ultimate finesse jig comes through the bigger rock and the brush a lot better than a football jig because of the head design. But the Missouri Craw, PBJ, Green Pumpkin Purple's been working good for me. And I'm using multiple types of trailers. This one's got a Strike King Baby Rage Craw. You can use like a twin-tail chompers, Zoom Speed Craw will work real well. Even like a pocket chunk. But I'm looking for transition banks where it goes from bigger rock to almost like football size rock. Almost like what you look for in the springtime for a crankbait bank, a transition bank. And in the mornings, these fish have been pretty shallow, you know, anywhere from 3-4 feet up to about 12 feet. And then later in the day, you have to back out to 20-25 feet. It depends, you know, if the sun gets out, you got to back out a little deeper, look for some brush piles. But the topwater bite, like on a Zara Spook, a Sexy Dog, or you know, the walking baits are working a little bit better for me, and even a whopper plopper. The bigger baits are working. I'm getting a little bit better quality fish, not as many bites, but you just got to stay committed to it. And with them fish starting to move up shallow, Ned rig's starting to work real good. And, you know, and the Ned rig's kind of one of them deals. It works 12 months of the year. You know, you can just got to fish at whatever depth the fish are at. But the 5-fish lures, I've had some prototypes all summer that I've been fishing, but we just now got our production baits. And first of the week, they should be in Sportsman Factory Outlet, Extreme Outdoors in Kimberling City, and Pro's Choice at Shell Knob already has them in stock. But it's a pretty slick little head that we've designed. It's kind of almost like a pyramid shape. It's a knockoff off of the Ultimate Finesse Jig, but it's just downsized. It's got a little deal right here to hold your bait, but still with if you're using a Senko, cut in half, you know, regular Ned rig, a lot of times a little super glue will help keep the bait up there better. It's got a little weed guard on it, wire weed guard that will not come unwoven. And if you don't like the weed guard, you can just take and snip it right off, get it out of the way, and fish it open hook. Now, you know, we designed these pretty much for a Ned rig application, but I found there's so many other baits they're working with real good. They'll work, you know, a lot of times a smaller hook, when you're fishing for smallmouths in Kentucky's, works a little better. And see, now this little deal right here, if you slide that up on there, it holds your plastic up on there real well. But the little 2.8 Kitech, it works real well. A lot of times, like I say, with the smaller hook, when you're fishing in timber, you don't get snagged as much. And there's still plenty of hook up there. I mean, that's a lot bigger hook than we use for a drop shot. We catch big fish on the drop shots. But this little head is I found it to be so versatile. if you're fishing, like here's a dream shot. If I'm vertical fishing it or casting it, it works really well for it too. And like I say, that little deal on there holds the plastic on there really good. And we've got them in 3 different sizes. We've got them in 1/8 ounce, 3/16, and 1/4 ounce. So if you get a chance for your finesse fishing, you need to check out 5 Fish's Ultimate Ned Jig. And like I say, we kind of designed it for a Ned Jig, but it's working for a little bit of everything. You can even throw it like on a finesse worm in place of a shaky head. And we're actually thinking of maybe coming out with one with a little bit bigger hook for a shaky head. But if you're throwing like a little 4-inch finesse worm, it'll work real well. Also, a little tiny fluke. A lot of times we'll drop shot these here. And it works really well on this little bait here. When you're fishing around real tiny shad, you want to downsize, try to match the bait. It really works good for that setup there. But the Ned rig and the jig, you know, like I say, the Ned rig works 12 months a year. You just gotta, that's why we come out with the 3 different sizes. So you can fish at whatever depth the fish are at. But now with these smallmouth moving up, it's been a good jig bite and a good Ned rig bite. And that should continue till about mid-September or so, till it seems like we always get an Indian summer and it warms back up and that thermocline breaks up. Once that thermocline breaks up, then fish are really going to scatter anywhere from 2 feet to 50 foot. But with the thermocline holding pretty steady, the deep bites pretty consistent, 25 to 35 feet. And like I say, a lot of fish moving up shallow with these cooler nights and days. So if you get a chance, it's been awesome out there fishing. The lake's real quiet, been really comfortable. Looks like it's going to warm back up a little bit next week, but nothing like what we had a few weeks ago. So till next week, good luck, good fishing.